Hi, this is Jason with Mana Properties. And as a land investor, I often get asked, how do I avoid paying property taxes when selling land in Texas? Typically, this question is asked about a piece of vacant land. We're not talking here about a valuable house or a productive horse farm. Usually we're talking about a piece of vacant land, oftentimes rural vacant land, something that's a little bit outside the city. Maybe it's just a treed lot, a lake lot, a piece of hunting property, or maybe something in the mountains or in the desert even. For some reason you bought this property, and this property's only features are the natural features, the rocks, the trees, the grass, and the things on there. You haven't built a house or a cabin on it yet, and you simply, for whatever reason, have changed your plans and you're not using it anymore. Now, there are a couple of problems when we talk about property taxes in Texas that people often face. And the first one is high property taxes, especially when you see a piece of vacant rural land, like I just mentioned. You would think that you wouldn't have to pay very much every year in taxes, very little, if any. However, many counties do tax these very aggressively. It's a source of income for the county, and so they like to charge you whether you use your land or not. It seems a little bit crazy, but you have to pay just to own land, even if you don't use it in the United States and in the great state of Texas. So you pay these every year, no matter what your plans are or your use of the land looks like. And the second problem is back taxes. Now, maybe you clicked on this video because you think, I have back taxes and I really don't want to have to pay these in order to get rid of this property and sell this property. So one thing you might not know is that you can lose your land. Now, each county in Texas has different procedures for this, but if you get too far behind in taxes, the county will actually sell the property on a tax deed. They do this to recover their lost taxes. It's perfectly legal, and you could lose ownership of your property if you get too far behind. So whatever you do, don't do nothing because you could possibly lose that. So we've talked a little bit about the problems, but maybe you say, I'd like to know the solutions now. So I have a solution, and one of the simplest solutions would be to talk to someone like myself, a land buyer or investor, and that land buyer investor is going to make you a cash offer on your land to pay the back taxes. So when we buy land from you, we're going to include in our offer an evaluation of any back taxes that are owed. And we will pay those back taxes at the closing of that property. We'll put it up to date and we'll take care of it. Now, we often will evaluate the property and we have to see what the property is worth. We're not going to probably buy a property that has more taxes owed than the property is actually worth. But in many cases, we have bought properties that owed $1,000, $2,000 or more in back taxes, and we were still able to put money in that seller's hand and take care of that tax bill and take that burden off their shoulders. So don't doubt in asking us for a cash offer just because you have back taxes. The second thing is that we'll cover the closing and transfer costs. So sometimes maybe you've sold property before and it seems like after all the closing costs and after the taxes and all the fees, the number that you thought you were going to get turned out to be a lot lower. You're not going to have that problem when you work with a land buyer and investor. We're going to make a very direct and honest cash evaluation of your property, and we're going to include these two factors. And one of the best things is that we're going to put cash in your hand instead of a continuous tax bill. So maybe you've got that tax bill for your property and you think, not again. I have this property in Texas I'm not using. What should I do with this property? Go ahead and feel free to fill out our form and request an offer from our network of investors. We're going to directly look at your property. We're going to take a close look at it, the taxes owed, the location, and we're going to give you an offer based on that valuation and put cash in your hand, and you're not going to have to worry about any more future property tax bills. I hope that this video has helped you. Feel free to request your offer here on this page. Thank you so much.